Have you ever stopped to think about the fact that you are moving right now? Even if you're sitting completely still, the ground beneath you is spinning at over 1,000 miles per hour, or about 1,670 kilometers per hour, because Earth is rotating on its axis. We don't feel it, because everything around us, the oceans, the atmosphere, and our own bodies is moving at the same speed. But what if it suddenly stopped? What if, in a single moment, Earth's rotation came to a halt? This thought experiment is one of the most dramatic what-if scenarios in science, and the consequences would be nothing short of apocalyptic. So let's explore step by step exactly what would happen if our planet suddenly stopped spinning. Imagine for a moment that Earth's rotation comes to an instant stop while the atmosphere keeps moving. The result? Everything not anchored to solid bedrock would continue flying eastward at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. Buildings would collapse, trees would be ripped from the ground, cars, people, and even entire cities near the equator would be thrown with unimaginable force. It would be like the worst car crash in history, but happening to everything, everywhere, all at once. Coastal regions would suffer even more. The oceans, which had been rotating with the Earth, would surge forward, creating mega-tsunamis thousands of feet high. Entire coastlines would be swallowed in minutes. It's safe to say, most life on Earth wouldn't make it past the first few moments. Now, let's imagine a less violent scenario. Instead of stopping instantly, Earth gradually slows down until its rotation reaches zero. This gives us a chance to think about the long-term consequences. The first major change would be in day and night. Currently, Earth rotates once every 24 hours, giving us the familiar cycle of daylight and darkness. Without rotation, a day would last an entire year. One side of Earth would face the sun for 6 months straight, roasting under unrelenting heat, while the other side would be trapped in 6 months of freezing darkness. The daytime side would become blistering hot, with temperatures soaring high enough to boil water. The nighttime side would plunge far below freezing, colder than Antarctica. Only a narrow region around the twilight zone, the strip between day and night, might remain survivable. Earth's rotation also affects its very shape. Right now, the planet bulges at the equator because of the centrifugal force created by spinning. If Earth stopped, gravity would slowly pull the planet into a more perfect sphere. This shift would cause the oceans to redistribute. Water currently piled up at the equator would flow toward the poles. Over thousands of years, sea levels at the equator would drop, while the polar regions would flood completely. Imagine vast new oceans forming around Canada, Russia, and Northern Europe, while tropical regions dry out into giant deserts. Civilization, if it survived, would need to relocate entirely. The atmosphere is also a product of Earth's spin. Jet streams, trade winds, and even basic weather patterns depend on the Coriolis effect, which only exists because Earth is rotating. Without it, our weather systems would collapse into chaos. Instead of gentle winds and predictable storms, we would see massive, violent superstorms as hot air rushed from the sunlit side toward the frozen dark side. Global climates would be unpredictable, unstable, and devastating for crops or human survival. Another hidden consequence: Earth's magnetic field. The rotation of the Earth's molten iron core plays a role in generating the protective magnetic shield around our planet. Without rotation, this protective field could weaken or disappear over time. The result? Earth would be bombarded by solar radiation. The atmosphere could slowly erode, much like what happened to Mars. Life on the surface would be exposed to deadly cosmic rays, forcing survivors to live underground or underwater. Could humans adapt to a non-rotating Earth? Possibly, but only in limited regions. The twilight zone between day and night might allow for moderate temperatures, but violent winds and shifting oceans would make survival incredibly difficult. Civilizations would need advanced technology, underground cities, artificial lighting, climate control, and massive energy resources just to stay alive. In short, Earth would no longer be the comfortable home we know. So, what would happen if the Earth stopped spinning? In the blink of an eye, the sudden stop would throw everything into chaos. Mega-tsunamis, collapsing cities, and unimaginable destruction. If Earth slowed down gradually, the consequences would still be devastating: extreme climates, shifting oceans, violent storms, and even the loss of our magnetic shield. The good news? This scenario will never happen naturally. Earth has been spinning for over 4.5 billion years, and it will keep spinning for billions more. But sometimes, imagining the impossible helps us appreciate just how fragile and extraordinary our planet really is.